Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Can you all
Um,
see my
we
good
can see.
evening? Can you all see my slides?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Can you all
Um,
see my
we
good
can see.
evening? Can you all see my slides?
Yeah.
Okay. Just testing.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Giga, can you please maybe mute Okay. Can you all see my
We
everybody? Good
can see.
evening. Can you all see my slides?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. How many people do we have here now? Do we have an idea? Can you all hear me? Okay. Do you think we should carry on or should we just
Yes.
give a
Yes.
what do you think? They'll join us later. Okay, cool. So let me start by apologizing for what happened the last time, network issues and all that. And I hope today that we'll have a smooth sail. This has been in the works for a while. And what it is about, it's career management and all the soft skills training that we would require amidst the pandemic and all that. Please, then, feel free to stop me and ask questions, or when you can't hear me, just let me know, and I'll come back. I mean, a whole lot of us had been looking up to 2020, and I know a whole lot of us had plans coming into 2020, all the things that we wanted to achieve in the year 2020, and we had our goals, our New Year resolutions, everything was set for us to just start. Then life happened. Life happened in the way that we did not expect it. You know, 2020 had always been a year that a whole lot of us, especially the a bit older ones, had been looking up to, because during the time, even said during the time of Abacha was the first president that came up with a vision called Vision 2020, and everything was centered around what Nigeria would become by the year 2020. So, as far back as 10, 15 years ago, we've had 2020 being drummed into our ears, all the everything 2020, 2020, 2020. So, it had been a year that most people had been looking up to, even not in terms of, let's say, what Nigeria turned out to be, because we know what Nigeria is right now. But you know, when you've been hearing about something for a very long time, and then that year happens, and everybody were like, okay, so now we're here, finally, year 2020, and all the zeal and push and drive we all usually come up into a new year with, and boom, COVID-19 happened. COVID-19 happened to businesses, to lives. And I'll start with businesses. Businesses at some point did not know what hit them initially. But you will find that even in that time, a lot of businesses thrived, especially a lot of businesses that were around the medical care and food. So people were still thriving even in that difficult time. A lot of businesses went into survival mode. It became a new way of doing things. I mean, somewhere in my office before now, we had been gingering about we have two offices in my office complex, and second office sometime last year has started flexi working, where um, they come in twice a week, then the rest of the 3 weeks, 3 days, they are not there. They work from home. So we in the second office had already started disturbing management that we want to go flex, 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 and all that. And I know, flexi work hours had also been in discussion in some other places, but all of a sudden, it became the new way of doing business. Nobody was given a choice. Nobody was given time to prepare for it. It just happened. So businesses went into survival mode. People just went into can we just stay alive? What can we do so that we don't crash? What can we do so that we can keep the business afloat, even if we're not making profit, but at least let us not just close down. And sadly, a lot of businesses were closed. Now, we, the workers, and we, the people, will find our lives around these three things that happened. If you're self-employed and you had businesses in the food industry, yes, peradventure you were lucky. You were amongst the people that thrived. Some of us had businesses that were just merely surviving, like where I work now. I work in a consulting firm, and it's at times like this that you start evaluating your businesses and your business strategy to know whether it's even sustainable. I mean, we're still at home. We're still hoping things will pick up. So we have been in survival mode. A lot of people in that survival mode had to take pay cuts, workload increase and things like that to be able to survive. And sadly, some people found themselves in businesses that were already closed. So it impacted on our lives in the way that we did not even know. In the first few months, it was just about survival. It was scary for everybody. And I know I speak for everybody because everything, it was new. Nobody knew how long it was going to last. Nobody knew what it was. Nobody knew how long it was going to last. Nobody knew how it was going to evolve. But thankfully, we're all here. And thankfully, we are alive. Thankfully, we are healthy. And thankfully, we are pushing forward. So yes, it brought us into a new way of working. And with a new way of working, it's a whole new thing. People had to skill up quickly. People had to learn a new skills quickly to be able to do the things that they can do to survive. For some people that that had to downsize, we had a lot of downsizing happen during that time. When downsizing happened and you are amongst the lucky few that were retained, it means that you suddenly will find yourself doing 1, 2, 3 people's jobs. And sometimes jobs that you had no idea how to do were being thrown on you. And it's either you swim or you sink, or you drown. So people lost their jobs. There's still a lot of uncertainties because even the businesses that were still holding on might still find with the way things are evolving, economies are crashing, So people are still not sure what it will be like going forward. Where are we going to? What's the future like? But for us, especially for us in Christ, we will know that, and we keep holding on to the faith and hope that no matter what happens, that we will come out tops. No matter what happens, as long as we still keep, praying, keep pushing, keep learning, that we will eventually come out tops and come out tops in these challenges that we found ourselves in, which is also part of the reason why we're doing this. What are the new things that we need to learn? What are the new things that we need to do to be able to carry on? So in terms of career, when you talk about careers are just it has many definitions. People go into school. First and foremost, 2 things happen when you're going into school. It's either before now, and still happens a lot, even though things are changing. your parents would usually determine the course that you study. And when you have an idea what you want to study and your parents actually do agree, then you have to pass the hurdle of JAMB. And after JAMB, you have to pass the hurdle of post-JAMB. So at the end of the day, you find that you don't even, from university, your dreams, your aspirations of careers are being touted. So that dream job that you have always dreamed of doing, it might not even be happening. It might not even happen based on, it's different things that are not even beyond your control. So when you talk about career, you're talking about your job, then you go through school, you come out, and no matter what you study in school, you still have that hope that you're still going to make it no matter what. You're still going to get a job. So the search starts. The dreams, the satisfaction, the experiences, everything, you just start searching. So what do you do at that point? For a career, what it does for you is that it's what you do for a living and how you advance through it. A profession and a company. So whatever it is, whether it was like someone like me, I always wanted to study medicine when I was young, but of course, I couldn't get my JAMB and things like that. So I ended up studying computer science. But even when I was studying computer science, I somehow realized, even when I was in the university, that it wasn't for me. I wasn't going to have a career in it. So when I left school, I started looking for other things that would interest me. Luckily for me, I served where I served. I was lucky to serve in the human resources department. And that is how my own career after school started. I now started developing interest in human resources development, human capital development, and things like that. And I have progressively built my career and my competencies in that line. So that is what I've been doing for a living, and that is what I have progressively built my competencies around, and where I have worked all these years. It's an organization undertaking for a significant period of time in a person's life with opportunities of progress. Now, when it comes to a career, no matter what it is that you have chosen to do, there must be progress. There must be progress. When you come to a point where you find that you are not progressing, my dear, it is time for you to stop and ask yourself very pertinent questions. Is this working for me? Is this not working for me? Why is it working for me? Why is it not working for me? What can I do? If you are not seeing increase in your salary, if you're not seeing increase in the quality of life, if you're not seeing improvement, even in yourself, in terms of development, the knowledge that you are acquiring, the skills that you're acquiring, then you are becoming complacent. And before you know it, you become irrelevant in the job market. So for it to be called a career, there has to be progress. There has to be progress in your knowledge. There has to be progress in the skills that you're acquiring as you're growing. There has to be progress as well in even your take home. And then there has to be progress in your lifestyle. It's just a progress. That is the only thing that shows that you're growing. And when you're not seeing those things, that means you become redundant. It means that wherever it is that you're at that point in time in your life, be it in and sometimes it's not just even the company, it might actually be your fault that you have been stuck in the place that you have found yourself in. And I'll come to why you've been stuck there. Some people are stuck because they are scared of moving. You don't know what life out there will be. Therefore you get comfortable in where you have found yourself, and so comfortable that 2, 3, 4 years down the line, you found that your mates have grown way past you that you start getting frustrated in life. So for that to happen, that is where career management comes in. How are you managing your career? I don't know why this is hanging. Hello, can you still hear me? Hello? Okay. I'm trying to, my system is hanging. Okay, so that's where career management comes in. And what is career management really? It's just a process that enables you, employees, better understand your skills, develop and give direction to it. There has to be direction. There has to be, okay, this is where I am now. This is where I want to be tomorrow. And this is where I want to be next tomorrow. It's because we don't have direction that things, I've seen people, that at some point in time in their life, they were moved to where a department or something, or even got an offer. A banker got an offer to move from Badore to Ogbomosho to become a branch manager. You know what that means? It means better package. Of course, it was a promotion and a whole lot of things. And he was so happy. But thankfully for him, he had someone that sat him down and asked him certain questions like, okay, you're in a Badore and you're being posted to Ogbomosho. Yes, promoted to a branch manager, salary increase and all those things. Yes, you finally become a big boy. But to what direction? Is it taking you to the direction where you want to go, or is it taking you away from where you want to go? Because I know that from Badore, your plans is that from Badore, you want to come to Lagos. Going back to Ogbomosho, what are the chances that you will get that exposure that you will need to bring you? He had a long discussion with the person, and the person opened up his eyes to other things. Luckily for him, he actually has on the table. One was going to take him completely out of the banking industry into a multinational company and things like that. But what happened was that other offer was with a lower pay, which was why the other one was more interesting for him. But at the end of the day, he had to ask himself, okay, so what do I want out of life? What direction am I moving at? Is this taking me away from from my goals and direction? If you don't have a plan for yourself, which is where career management comes in, if you don't have a plan for yourself, then you find that you're stuck in you make decisions that might affect you later on in life. So it's about using those skills and interests that you acquire most effectively within the organization and outside the organization. It doesn't really matter. So for career management, it's just a process for you to become more aware of your own interests, your own values, your own weaknesses. Obtain information about job opportunities within the company that you work for or company of interest. A lot of us start work anywhere. You come into the job market and you sit down at home for the first year waiting for your dream job. Some people even wait on to the second year, and when that does not happen, it becomes an all-comers affair. Anywhere you find job is fine. But even when you are at that place, what are you doing to still pursue your dreams? Nigeria can be frustrating, I know. There are a whole lot of things that might want to nail you, put you down. But you must remain persistent and resilient to your career goals. If you have identified what those goals are, establish an action plan towards achieving those goals. Delays are not denial. Delays are not denial. You might have delays along the line, but if you stay focused on what your career goals are, if you stay focused on the things that you want to do, then you will know that first and foremost there's satisfaction because you're living, you're going towards the things that you want to do, and you're achieving it, and you're moving forward. So career management skills starts even before you start work. Move beyond the education towards work happens while you're still in work, or whether you're not even working, or whether you're preparing to leave or reduce the work. So even the people that are going to retirement, most organizations now have retirement trainings. My organization has been, where I work, we've been involved in post-retirement planning, career planning. For most organizations, they put together, they expose people to other options that they have when they retire into, if it's entrepreneurship, for people that have done, I know most people start their side hustle, which is the right thing, even while you're still working. But there's some that don't even have that at the back of their mind to even start that. So some organizations help you exit into retirement with a plan. So even when you're preparing to leave the full-time work, you have to continue planning. So let's start with before work, and let's quickly go through the interview series, because I recognize the fact that some of us might still be in that phase where you're just out of school and you're still going through looking for jobs and all that. And interview skills are very important. So overview is preparing for interviews, in the interview experience, the questions to expect and to ask, different types of interviews, assessment center, psychometric tests, and all that. We have a lot to cover, so I'll just be a bit in a hurry. So when it comes to interview, there are two objectives that are at play. The first one is the employer's objective, which is to find the best person for the job. So the employer will be busy reviewing candidates and experiences and ability. Can they do the job? Can you do the job? Will you be able to do the job? And how fit are you into the organization? When they're asking questions like, can you do the job? That's when they're looking at things like skills, abilities, forgive the missing S in the abilities, and qualification. Will you do the job? Means, do you have the interest? They recognize the fact that most entry-level jobs are just stopgaps for most people. They just shall want to start working while they pursue their interests. So even while that is so, will you still, what's your attitude like? What motivates you? And how do you fit into organizations? Now, this is critical because before now, organizations hire for skills and knowledge. But what they have your attitude like? What motivates? When you hire for skills and knowledge, you hire the best competent person and you bring that person into the organization, and the person is not a fit, because all organizations have their cultures, they have their values, they have their and all that, and the person is a misfit into the organization culture. It's a problem. The person comes in and starts sowing seeds that are counterproductive to where the organization wants to go. So what organizations do now is that they hire for attitude and train for skills. They hire for attitude and train for skills. They don't mind. But once they find somebody that is a fit, and in terms of scoring, when you compare with the other people, and maybe they have someone that, and they still score high. They might not be the highest, but they still score high in terms of skills and capabilities and competencies. They are most likely to hire the person with a better attitude and fit than the person with the highest score in terms of skill, but score poorly in terms of fit. So when you are also preparing for interview, those are the things that you have to bear in mind. What is the organizational culture of the place that you want to, that you're going into? You need to research that, so that when you're presenting yourself, you're presenting the type of personality that they want. For you, it's about what does this position offer to me, if you have the choice, and how does it fit to my career plans? Even if you take it because you want to take it, while you're there, still do your best at that position that you find yourself and still be looking for opportunities that might be open to where your career plans are. And when you pass the first hurdle, there are still other ones. You know, you have to go for final different all the other interviews. But at the end of the day, you must prove that you're the most stable candidate for that position. So in preparation, it's about reviewing your own skills, experiences, and qualities. Are you with me? Hello?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Is it flowing? Are you with me? Are you understanding?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So checking your CV is very important. I know there are a couple of apps online where you can help you review CVs and things like that. CV is the first thing that presents you, even without you being there, to the person. It's sad when you pick up some people's CV and things like email address, you're still using jazzyj@gmail.com. Someone that is applying for job, you're still using, very funny email addresses. You find very fun. That, first and foremost, is a turn off for most people. And therefore, the way you now present yourself, because that is the first you that people see before they even get to meet you. So is your CV the best representation of you that it can be? If you have accesses to older people, find them, send your CVs to them, tell them to help you check, tell them to help you redo, so that you're sure that you're putting your best foot forward first when it comes to CV. Then, people put in a lot of bogus claims on their CV. Know that some questions are going to be drawn from that thing that you present. So anticipate questions that will come from there, and identify. And when you're anticipating, and that's one, then there are a whole lot of interview questions that you can find online. Practice those questions. Download those questions. Practice them. Identify relevant questions that are relevant to the position that you're going to interview for, and prepare whatever it is that is your key selling point. If it's your first job, there might be little or no experience, so there are other things that they might be assessing you on, but it might not. Don't even wait until you get your dream job, until you get that job for you to even have a job. Go anywhere, offer your services for free. We have anywhere, just to gain experience, and experience that you can put on your CV. Prepare your key selling points. Research the organization that you're going to interview in. Look at their websites, look at their reports, look at article, company literature. Contact people that might have worked there or are still working there, or people in that sector. Read and read and read and read. If possible, even go there before time, just to familiarize yourself with what that organization is. If you can gain access, fantastic. If not, a telephone call. Just call their contact center. Just to get a sense of what the organization is or sounds like. Research the job and occupational area. Look at the job description if you were sent any, and study it. Then, of course, current issues. You must be current. And when I mean current, it's not current in Big Brother Niger. It's current in the things that are happening in the world. Things like the economy. Things like even this COVID-19. Whatever it is that is the current issue, know it, because you just might never know what that last question that interviewer might throw at you would be. And prepare your question. Like I said, practice. Practice in front of the mirror. Call your mom and practice with. Call your siblings and practice with. Call your friends and practice with. That interview must not be the first time you're sitting in front of somebody and answering questions. Must never be. So when you're there, first impression matters. It is very powerful. First impression matters. So when you come in there, be sure that you are projecting the best of you. Your confidence is coming through. The belief in yourself is coming through. And when you're going in, go before time. If you have an interview by 10, leave your house by 5 o'clock. Even if you get there by 6, stay in that area from 6 to 10 to relax yourself. The last thing you want to do is to rush into an interview. You're going to rush in there flustered. And the first few minutes is you trying to put yourself together. No. Arrive there on time. Give yourself time to relax. Dress appropriately. I don't even know why you want to go in for an interview and you don't dress well. I am speaking as an interviewer, someone that has sat in the panel and seen a lot of people coming, and you wonder if they just strolled in from I don't even know where they strolled in from. That in itself, it puts you in a negative light. And what the interviewer will be doing after that is trying to find other reasons to employ you. And who betide you if you don't come prepared? So you've started marking yourself down based on that. Entrance is important. Introduction, handshake. I would say don't offer your hand until they do. Smile, make eye contact. Very important. Eye contact means that it portrays self-confidence. Be aware of your own movements. Don't go over gesticulating, and watch the interviewer's body language. It is very important. That sometimes when you start going off key in your questioning, but if you're sensitive enough to the interviewer's body language, facial expressions, it tells you when you're answering the right questions and when you're not. And therefore, you can correct yourself immediately. So what are the typical questions you ask? It's about, tell me about yourself. These are the things that you need to know. Bring me up to date with your CV. Why did you choose the degree program that you answered? And whatever it is, honesty always works. What experience have you in this relevant post? If you don't have, it shows at entry level that you don't have any experience. Don't even lie about it. Tell them, what they are checking is your attitude, the kind of person that you are. And why would you consider your major achievement today? These are some of the interview questions. Like I said before, if you go online, there are loads of interview questions that you can come up with. Interest about the job, about the organization, what options that you're considering, what your career plans for 5 years. There's a whole lot of questions like general knowledge. They'll be asking you things like, college, government policies and opinion on increase. They can ask anything. There are other trick questions like, okay, there's this that we like asking people. And when they ask you these questions, there is no right or wrong answer. We would usually ask somebody questions like, imagine that you're shrunk to the size of a pen and you're thrown inside the blender. How will you come out? Imagine that you're shrunk as a human being. You have all your abilities still intact, but you're shrunk to the size of a pen and you're thrown inside a blender. How will you come out? There's no right or wrong answer. What the person is trying to assess at that point is just your personality and how you tackle issues. And you hear responses like, I'll jump up and hit the lid open and jump out. Fine. It says something about your personality. Some people will tell you that they'll be jumping from one end of the blender, side of the blender to the other, just to shake it so that it will fall and the thing will break and they'll come out. It just helps you assess how the person thinks of things when they find themselves in certain situations. So yes, such questions come up. Then you have probing questions, which helps help interviewer understand you better. How exactly do you deal with certain situations? How did you know that it worked? What was the outcome and all that? And there's a trick to answering that, which I'll come to later. Then some questions are just competency based. You know, you've gone and said things like, I have communication skills, I have problem solving skills, I have teamwork skills, I have this one and that one. And they now ask you questions that will prove whether you really do have those kind of skills. So they're asking you questions like, in terms of communication, describe situation when you had to persuade others to support your view. In terms of problem solving, tell us about a time when you had several tasks to manage at one time with conflicting deadlines. You're the one that said, I have problem solving skills. So they're asking you, okay, so how do we know that you have problem solving skills? And when you find those questions, so if you're going to have you definitely need some competencies in your interview. First and foremost, identify competencies that are relevant to the job that you're going to apply for. So review the job description. If you have not been sent any, like if you're applying for the role of a PA or executive assistant, and they did not send you a JD, just go online. Find a job description for a personal assistant or executive assistant and make sure that you skew your CV. And that's another important thing. Your CV, you can have 100 CVs for 100 different job roles. Skew your CV and your competencies to reflect the particular job that you're applying for. So if you're applying for a job of a PA, the kind of competencies that will be on your CV will be the competencies that are needed for a public personal assistant role. And when you do that, practice questions on those competencies. Define each competence in terms of behavioral terms, and therefore ask yourself, identify how, if you've had any experience from the past. Personal assistant work, like I said, you help your mother do things. You've helped your uncle do something. You've planned a party. You've planned things. So draw from those experiences and give your examples. And when you're giving examples, there's something called STAR in answering interview questions. And let's go through quickly through that. When you're asked, give an example of a problem that you encountered. How did you approach it and what was the outcome? STAR response, first and foremost, starts with describing the situation, explaining the tasks that are problem that arose, what action did you take, what results were and outcome did you have, and what did you learn from that experience. But if you're able to do this, you would have responded very well to that question. So in preparing for your interview, if you list competent communication skills, look for competent questions around them and practice using this STAR. What your responses will be. It's in the preparation. It's in the preparation. Preparation is key in everything that you want to do in life and achieve in life. Preparation is what sets you apart from the people that prepared and people that just strolled in. Everything is in life is about preparation. You must never walk into anything that you're doing, be it interview or anything, without being prepared. So for your answers, you listen carefully. Seek for clarification. If you're not sure, don't rush into answer. Seek for clarification before you answer. Illustrate your answers with examples and evidences. Be positive. Be positive. Give, even when you're and constructive in your criticism, even when you're going to talk about something that you did not like, don't bash it down. Like when they ask you about your former boss and why you want to leave your job, if you're moving to another job, don't go and be talking down on other people. Even if you're going to speak against somebody, still present it in a positive light. Keep your answers specific and concise. Take time to respond. Be alert to the interviewer's body language. It is critical. Speak clearly, smile, show enthusiasm, and know what you want to say and find opportunities to say them. For qualities employer's sake, good all-round intelligence is important to them. Enthusiasm, commitment, and motivation, and these things show during interviews. Good communication skills, teamwork ability, ability to solve problems, capacity to work hard, taking initiative and being self-reliant, and generally someone that a balanced personality. And trust me, the interviewers they've interviewed long enough to know the type of questions to ask you, to draw out these responses from you, or even if not in terms of words, in terms of how your body language and things like that, they know. And when you're done and you're given an opportunity to ask questions, or even if you're not, most times they will ask you if you have any questions for us. Tell them, ask them things like, what are the career developments in this organization? You know, what is the reporting structure? What is the training? Always, what I'm saying is that always have your own questions ready. It's not a case of, okay, so do you have any questions for us? No, sir. So how did I do? Show interest in the role. Show interest in the organization. Show interest in, in how things work, in the culture. That tells your the interviewer the kind of person that you are. That it's not about salaries and things like that. You're actually interested in things like career development and working in the right organization that fits your career aspirations. So what creates a bad impression, like I've stated, it's poor personal appearance, negative attitude, or evasive, using excuses. Lack of interest or enthusiasm. People come in and even the way they're sitting, you're wondering if you should even bother. Lack of preparation, poor knowledge of the role that you're applying for. Somebody sent in my CV and somebody said I should come. So the person had told you to come. Research and find out. Failure to give concrete examples of your skills. Overemphasis on money and rewards, and lack of career plan. You must always come across like someone that has a plan for their life, someone that has a plan. You must have a plan for your life, a forward-thinking person generally. So after the interview, take time to review your own performance, what went well, what went badly, what you wished you had said. It's at this point that it helps you prepare for the next stage, really. So when you have an opportunity to prepare for the next final round, usually you might be called for an assessment center, psychometric testing, panel interviews, and all that. And for whatever stage that is, research upon it, prepare yourself upon it, and do that, and be ready for that. And when you receive a rejection letter, it's not final. Thank them for the opportunity still. And also request for feedback. Okay, can you tell me what I did right and what I did wrong and things like that? So when you start work, usually, I know most of us in youth would usually be between 40, 45 and below. So we will find ourselves in the first two quadrangles, which is the less than 2 years or just that, or 2 to 10 years of career. And there are things that are expected of you in that regard. So if you're less than 2 years or just starting work, you're really an apprentice. So your relationship to other employees is one that is eager to learn, learning, absorbing everything that you can. It's not time for you to start saying, no, this is not my role. This is not my job within my job description. This is not within my purview. You are open to anything. So Activities is about helping others. What can I help you with? What can I help you do? Following instructions, following directions, learning and learning. So for developmental tasks, it's about at that point identifying your interests, because you might actually think that you were interested in something, but when you start doing that thing, you will find, oh, I'm not sure this is what I want to do. So still confirming if that is your area of interest, or identifying new interests, skilling up, fit, and make sure that that whatever it is that you're doing is fit for the work that you're doing and for self. At that point is about exploration. You're exploring other things. Offer to help people in other departments. Expose yourself, depending on the work structures where you find yourself in. If you can help it, be interested in what other roles are doing. Be interested in what other departments are doing. Therein, you might find out that you're actually more interested in doing what work in other departments. And when an opportunity comes in, you therefore can apply and move over to that place. When you're within your 2 to 10 years, that is when it's not you refer to your relationship is more like a colleagues, and you're a bit more independent. Your contributions you're making independent contributions because you are more confident in the knowledge and skills that you have gained in the last 2 years. So what you're thinking about then in terms of development is advancement, it's growth, it's security, it's development, it's developing a lifestyle that suits you. Those are the things that you're looking at. And if at this point, when you're getting to 5-6 years and things and you're not seeing advancement, it's a problem. You don't have to wait for 10 years where you should be thinking of settling down and maintaining what you have achieved to start developing. Then you've lost critical years. You've lost critical years. So, which is why they always ask you, what is your plan in the next 5 years? Because when you plan for 5 years, at 5 years, that's when you sit down and ask yourself questions. Okay, so what have I done? What have I achieved? Am I on course? Am I not on course? Do I need to change or do I not need to change? I had a colleague that, his interests were in things. He was a techie person, a tech person, science inclined and all that. That was his forte. But like I said, jam and all those things happened to him, and work happened to him, work life happened to him. He has been working for over 7 years now post NYSC, and he woke up one day and told and put in his resignation, and it shocked us, and we were like, what's happening? And he's like, he hasn't been happy in a long while, and he has actually decided to make a career change, and he's going back to things that he likes. He saved up enough money to take certain courses, IT courses that so what am I saying? It's never too late to pause and ask yourself if you're in the right direction. 7, 8, 10 years into his career, he can change. What matters is progress. What matters is advancement. What matters is satisfaction. Satisfaction. In terms of, for you to be able to do that, there's something called gap analysis. So, what are your goals? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What can you do right now? What abilities do you have? How do others perceive me? When it comes to assessing your interest and your competencies, sometimes we don't like asking people questions about ourselves. But even Jesus Christ at some point had to pause and ask his disciples, who do people say I am? So seeking for feedback is critical in your career growth, in your career advancement. If you're in a structured organization that have an appraisal system, appraisal might be once in 6 months or once in a year. You should not wait for that appraisal cycle to go back to your boss to ask for feedback. Because by then it is already late. There is nothing that you can do about it. It's at that point that they're either marking you up or marking you down. But if after 1 month, 2 months, you go back to your boss and ask your boss questions, please, I need to ask you, how am I doing? Where am I doing well? Where am I not doing well? And you also say something about you to your boss, the type of person that you are, that you're someone interested in your growth, in your development. So always seek for feedback. And when that feedback is given, take it. It's not for you to take it and put inside your pockets. It is for you to do something about it. Then what are the success factors, especially in the areas that I am interested in? So the things that are up is the blue boxes are really about your view, and the green and yellow boxes are others' view about you. Then the other ones, the ones that are on the left of is things like blue and dark blue and the orange is asking you questions where you are now, while on the right hand side is about where you want to go. But let's go a bit into details about that. So where you want to go is really sitting down, and like I said, it's never too late. It's never too late. At any point where you find that you're not satisfied in what you're doing, sit down and ask yourself these questions. What do you want to do? Think about what is important to you at work. Think about what is important to you for the rest of your life and why those things are important. What do you want to do in future? What do you want to achieve in future? Then when you do that, you ask yourself, okay, so what, based on the things that I want to do, what abilities do I have now? Assess your skills and knowledge. Be brutally honest to yourself. What knowledge do I have now? What skills and competencies do I have now? What and where can I so what is the difference? Look objectively to where you want to go and where you are now. Keep that. Go and ask others what perceptions that they have about you. That helps you develop a full picture about yourself. So view yourself from your own lens. View yourself from the lens of what others think about you. That will give you a holistic picture about who you are, and therefore tells you where you stand at that point. What that also helps you do is, therefore, you now know what you need to do, the skills that you need to acquire to be able to achieve the goals that you have for yourself in future. Ask yourself what the success factors are in the areas that you're interested in. So this is what I want to do. For me to be able to achieve that, and for me to be a success in that area, what are the criteria? What do I need to do? If it's within an organization, what skills do I need to acquire? If you identify those skills, then you can apply for training. And when the training is not available in your organization, please look for money and go and acquire and go for those trainings outside. Remember, you have to be selfish about your development. You have to be selfish about what you want to achieve in your life. It's not about what your organization where you are can offer you. It's about what you can offer yourself. So even if the organizations where you are right now is a bit limiting in the things that you want to achieve, it shouldn't deter you. Look for money, look for resources. There are lots of free courses online. Skill up. At the end of the day, there's something called delayed gratification. A lot of people, when they earn money, they want to show that I have arrived. I've started work. You start buying cars, you start doing things, and that's what it's about. If what you're earning now cannot give you the kind of lifestyle that you want to achieve in the future, please don't squander your money trying to impress people. No. Save up for those certification courses. Save up for those trainings. Save up for those things that would advance your career. So what are the success factors in those things that I want to do? What must I do to be able to achieve that? If you don't have it, that is where strict financial management is important, which is one thing that people also lack. how to manage their, yes, resources are tight. People don't earn enough to even take care of their immediate need. But trust me, if you can cut your coat according to your salary, deny yourself certain things because you won't know what you want to achieve in future. Deny yourself now so you can get those qualifications, those certifications, and the things that you need now to be able to get the kind of jobs and achieve the things that you want to achieve. Your future will thank you. The kind of life that you will live in future will erase whatever memories that you are having now of what you're going through now. Suffer yourself down so that you can enjoy in future. Don't enjoy now and prolong your suffering. Do not enjoy now and prolong your suffering or prolong your achieving your goals. You're better off, denying yourself things now to be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve in future. So it's about, when you find out, identify what you want to achieve in life, assess your ability, assess what others think about you. Therefore, you have a holistic view of where you are right now. Ask yourself, the things that I want to achieve in future, what do I need to have? And map out for yourself developmental path to be able to achieve that. And not just mapping it out. You can keep writing goals and goals and goals, and if you don't do anything about it, it will remain in paper. And life life will keep happening to you. Life is not about what happens to you. Life is about what you make of what happens to you. What's that popular saying? When life gives you lemon, make lemonade out of it. And there's this one that my friend told me about that I love. It depicts us Nigerians in a bad light, but it's reality of where we are in Nigeria. They said that we Nigerians, that life in Nigeria tried to drown us, but they do not know that we're Gary. I'll say that again. That life tried to drown us, but little did they know that we are Gary. And what does Gary have to do with it? When you put Gary in water, what happens? It rises. So when life and people, you might find yourself in a department that you have a horrible boss that has decided to frustrate your life from now till God knows when. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Rise. You have it within you. You have it within you. Just find those things, those people, those support systems that will always boost you up. When that boss does something that you don't like, and pick up the phone, call that friend, call that sister, call that brother, and tell this man has done it again. No, this woman has done it again. No, cry if you have to, laugh about it, but go back and still give your best, because it is that best. I've had situations where people will tell you that this boss did everything in their power to make sure that they don't get promoted. Little did he know that others were watching. Then so when he came to promotion and he kept saying bad things about this person, other people that were not his boss stood up and spoke for him. I said, no, not this guy. From the little interactions that I had with this guy, I know who this guy is, and it's not happening. Other people stood up for him. If you give up and just generally, become a mediocre because your boss has decided that nothing good can come out of you, and therefore you've accepted it, that mediocre attitude is who you have become. And what do they say about habits and attitude? You become what you practice over time. So practice being a person of excellence no matter what, and your work will speak for you. Your work will always speak for you. Your work will always speak for you. So where do you want to go? What heights do you want to achieve? Work towards that no matter what. Rise above whatever situation that you find yourself in the workplace, in your businesses, whatever it is. It's your attitude to life that matters. Your attitude to the things that matters. It's what you make out of it that matters. So let's go quickly through the skills. You know, what's happening now is that all through these years we've been going through different types of revolution. Hello, can you still hear me? Hello? Okay, so I'm just going to run through these seven skills and we round up.
I hear you.
Okay. So in terms of skills, you know, this COVID-19 and all the things that has happened, and what's even happening now, even started long before the COVID-19. There's something called, I don't know how many of you know what the Industrial Revolution, the first Industrial Revolution, the second Industrial Revolution, the third Industrial Revolution, how it started from manufacturing and went into the electricals and went into the internet age, and even where we computer age, and then now the internet age. The internet age is where we have been on, and that is what brought in all the internet and all the tech and all that, IT and all that. And a whole lot of things has been happening. Tech savviness is key. But where we are right now is where connection. We are in that space where connection. The economy that we are operating in right now is what is called the connection economy. What is connection economy? Connection economy. Okay, let's look at businesses like Amazon. That's just Bezos' guy. Now, wow. When others were crying, my guy was making how many billion? God will help us in Jesus' name. Anyway, businesses like Amazon is businesses that is thriving in this connection economy. What does Amazon do? Amazon connects products to people. Let's look at another business like Uber. What does Uber do? Uber connects products to people. Let's look at the richest men in the world right now. These are people that are already operating in the connection economy. Facebook. What does Facebook do? What's Facebook's product? What's Instagram product? What's WhatsApp product? It's connecting people to people. The products that connect business to business. B&B. What does B&B do? B&B does not have any hotel. Uber does not have any car. They just made products or businesses that are able to connect people and products and people and people, just connecting, and therefore achieving satisfaction for people. People don't need to leave the comfort of their homes to be able to get the things that they want. Do you understand? So tech savviness is here to stay. Leadership is another thing. Flexibility and adaptability is another skill. Critical training and sense making, emotional intelligence and creativity and innovation and growth mindset. Let's run through them quickly before we close. So when it comes to tech savviness, it's about computational thinking, new media literacy, virtual collaboration, digital coding and coding skills, data literacy. But I'll even take it on the surface. You know, if you do not know how to use a computer, I don't even know what you're doing. Most businesses right now that thrive, that survived in during this COVID-19, operated with their phones, operated with their laptops, operated with apps. People stopped going to the markets because people opened market spaces on WhatsApp. People opened market websites that you know, you can shop online. So they have different WhatsApp groups, market WhatsApp groups that just tells you, okay, send in your list and we'll go to market for you and deliver the product at home for you. Those were the people that made money. Amazon made a whole lot of money because of being able to connect people to products. People don't need to leave the comfort of their homes. A lot of people did not know how to do Zoom. A lot of people did not know how to do Microsoft Teams. A lot of people did not believe that they can have meetings that are not face-to-face. But what happened? All of a sudden, you can't go to work, and 24 hours you're moving from one Zoom meeting to another, and people that could hide their illiteracy behind, help. I had a colleague back then in the office. Simple Microsoft Excel sheet. Do me a budget on Microsoft Excel sheet was a problem. So when you give him a task, he will just carry it to the next person and sit down and tell the next person, please now help me do this. Please now help me do that. Please now help me do this. Please now help me do that. So all those people that were relying on their other colleagues and hiding under people, right there, they found nowhere to hide. So tech savviness is important, and that is where the new skills are going. If you don't have an online presence now as a business, I don't even know what you're doing. So that is why places like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, those are the new selling tools. And you have new skills that are coming up. You have data analyst as a new skill, a new job role. You have digital marketing. Those are the people that are making waves now. So whatever it is that you're doing, you must be tech savvy. You cannot hide it anymore. It's either you know it or you don't know it. Oh, there. So leadership is critical, because right now, your Oga is not seeing you. Your Oga does not have time to be seeing you. You are on your own. So it's about self-leadership. That is another skill that is very important. You must become very self-aware of, your competencies, your skills, your responsibilities, and hold yourself accountable to those responsibilities. Nobody is going to be coming to you to be asking you, have you done this or have you not done that? They are looking for people to sack. They are looking for people to help to downsize. Companies are not able to pay salaries. So it's about how you're able to grow up and know that you've become your own manager. Nobody is going to be managing you. You've become your own manager. So how are you delivering on your holding yourself accountable to the responsibilities that has been assigned to you? What's your communication skills like? What's your team collaboration? We are not having team bonding meetings. We're not sitting in the office and laughing. Everything is now online. So what are your team collaboration skills? What's your motivation? See, everybody's going through the same challenge that you're going through right now. So nobody is there to motivate you and come and be asking you how are you doing. You have to become your own motivator. The power is within you. How are you using that power? What happened during this period is that all those companies that had structures, you have to report to level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, found themselves that they had a flat structure. Because in Zoom meeting, if regional manager had to come to Lagos to have meeting with the branch manager, with the branch heads and all that, what you found is that if I can stay in my house and have meeting with the branch managers, I still have meetings with head of operations and all that. Why not? So a lot of flat structure. What this COVID did was that it brought down a lot of structures in organization and put everybody on the same level playing field. So how are you able to show yourself that you can actually do this work? Adaptability and flexibility. How are you able to adapt to the ever-evolving workplace and have the ability to continuously update and refresh your skills? This time it's not about this is what I can do. They are looking for who can do Boss's work. They're looking for who can do Tunji's work. They're looking for who can do Ada's work. Those are the kind of people that they're looking for now. So what is it that Boss does? What is it that Tunji does? What is it that Ada does? You have to learn how to do that. So if you're called upon to do that, you rise up and do it immediately. The workplace is ever evolving. And those that stand out are those that are flexible enough to recognize the changes and change with the times. Skill up, update yourself and move on. Critical thinking. You know, you have a lot of things and information being thrown at you right now. How are you able to decipher those information and be able to make informed decision? No time for errors, no forgiveness for errors. Nobody have the patience. These are very trying times. So if your manager used to be very tolerant before now, my dear, nobody has that time. So whatever it is that decisions that you're making has to be the very right decisions, because it's about zero tolerance to errors right now. If organizations are operating on survival modes, that means they are compliance has to be 100% or nothing. So critical thinking, being able to evaluate even the jobs that are given to you. How are you able to evaluate them and know how to prioritize them? To be able to make sure that you're delivering on what is the most important to your job. Emotional intelligence. The ability to be aware of your emotions, express it, control your emotions. Be helpful, be gracious, be kind, smile, think how you affect others, think how others affect you. We are operating in a very diverse environment now. The internet and the world that we live in has brought us, it's now a global village. So everybody is now together. So your ability to have a cross-cultural competence, it's key. It's key. So I mean, I have there's this project that we executed in this COVID era, and the project manager who gave us the job is not in Nigeria, and you have to work to his own timing. So whenever he calls you for a meeting, sometimes you have a meeting. We're having meetings 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. But if it's important to you, you have to do it. So sometimes, depending on where you find yourself, you have to be, aware of your own emotions and be able to control it, and therefore aware of other people's emotions, knowing that everybody is going through tough times. And please, also be patient with others. Try to understand where they're coming from. Try to understand why they are acting this way. Know that everybody is under pressure, so don't add your own pressures upon their heads. The next one is creativity and innovation. You can see these two people that is in this diagram, in this picture. It's raining, and one person sees an umbrella as just an umbrella. The other person sees an umbrella as a water collector to be able to water his or her gardens or whatever. That is what it's about. Right now, the people that are being appreciated at work are people that are bringing in new ideas, because organizations are looking at ways they can evolve, how they can invent new things, new products. The challenges that people had before are not the challenges that they have now. Challenges have changed. Human beings have changed. So how are we going to evolve and be able to address these new challenges that we are facing? So dream up new products, new ways of working, invent things. That is what organizations are looking for now. If you're working in an organization, and if you're not, even for yourself, what are the needs that people have now? Nothing stops you from even starting a side hustle. Look around you. What are the needs that people have now? And how can you solve that need? What can you come up with? What new product can you come up with to address those needs? The people that came up with Uber, it was because they found the need, and they came up with that app to address the need, and they're making money out of it. So look around you. What needs can you solve around you? Come up with those new products. Pursue them. And if it's at work, what employers are looking for now are people that are always coming up with new ideas, because everybody wants to grow their business. Businesses are set up to be profitable. So while the profitability is going down because of the challenges of the economy, what people are looking out for are people that can come up with new ideas that can help them thrive. And if there is anything that is more important than now, also, it's having a growth mindset. And what is a growth mindset? It's the ability to thrive on challenges and see failures as opportunity for growth, and lead more resilient and successful lifestyle. When things happen to you, we have two different types of people. We have the people with a fixed mindset, and we have people with growth mindset. The fixed mindset people are people that this COVID has happened, and it's been killing them. All they are thinking about and willing about is all the things that has happened to them during this COVID. I lost my job during this COVID. I took a pay cut during this COVID. I did this one. It's about all the negatives. And when you focus on that, it means that you're not challenging yourself. And the people with fixed mindset are people that avoid challenges. They are okay with staying in their comfort zone. Even if they are not growing, even if they're not making any progress in that comfort zone, they shy away from doing things that they don't know. How will you grow if you don't learn new things? Are unable to handle criticism or feedback? You cannot grow if you are not. What I teach when I teach about criticism and feedback is that no matter how they come, there are some bosses, there are some people that don't know how to give constructive feedback. They are telling you that thing and they are shredding you. People in the banking industry know what they call shredding. They are shredding you. No matter how that feedback comes to you, there must be something that you can take out from it. So don't listen to the bad words that are being used. Listen to the learnings that what you can learn from whatever that person is saying. But there are some people that are, no matter whether you give them good feedback or bad feedback, or they just don't know how to handle it. Everything here, they're focused on, you're not focused on improving yourself. You're threatened by the success of others. No effort at all. You're just fixed. And when you come up with challenge, you give up easily. The people that are going to thrive in this new time that we have found ourselves in are people that have the growth mindset. You must view these challenges that we're facing now as an opportunity to grow. And you're asking yourself, what are the learnings? What am I learning from this opportunity? What am I learning? What are the learnings? If people tell you things, yes, acknowledge that you're a human being, you're not perfect. So when they give you feedback, see that as a weakness, and therefore a developmental area, and work on developing yourself. And if you're in a position to give feedback, make sure it's constructive. You're a very dynamic person. You prioritize learning over seeking approval from others. It's like I said, you have to be selfish about your learning and your growth. It's not about what others think of you. It's not about, it's not about, I've finally gotten a job, so let me show off. Prioritize learning. Save for that course that you want to do. Save for that certification. It's not about seeking others' approval. Focus on the process instead of the end result. The process. How are you getting there? As long as you keep working, you will definitely get to the end result that you desire. Be inspired by the success of others. Look at the people that have gone ahead of you and have achieved it, even if they are your mates. Even if they are your mates, the rest of life is not about, we must arrive at the same time. Everybody have their pace of arrival. It's when it's like, that's why it's when it's your time. When God says it's your time, it's your time. It's God's timetable. It's not your timetable. It's not it's not people's timetable. As long as you're doing the things that you're doing and consistently doing it, not giving up, time for reward will come. Think of learning, understanding failure as an opportunity to grow, and persistence. Listen, if all these successful people, if you sit down and hear their stories, what we see in life are just, people like Tony Elumelu them and Dangote them. We see all the private jets and all the things, and even the successful people that we know around us that are not even in their league. We see them drive the best of cars. They come in with Prado Jeeps. They come in with, if you sit down and let them talk to you about what they passed through to be where they are right now, you know that for you to be successful, it takes dedication, it takes persistence, it takes commitment, it takes knowing where you're going to, and most importantly, it takes self-discipline. You can write all your goals from now till the every year. You wake up every 1st of January and you write a New Year resolution, write another goal. If you're not disciplined enough to deny your things that you need to deny yourself, which might be time, sleep, and all those things, my dear, you're not going to achieve it. It will just be wishful thinking. But if you're self-disciplined, what sets successful people apart from those that are not successful is nothing but self-discipline. Even the people that are not successful all have plans. They have plans, they have desires. But they were not disciplined enough to pursue those career goals that they have. They were not disciplined enough to pursue those dreams that they had. And therefore, they did not achieve it. There's this quote that I can't remember who said it, that the heights that successful men attained and kept were achieved by toiling and burning the midnight candle while others were sleeping. I'll find it and post it on the youth group. That the heights that successful men achieved and attained and maintained were gotten when others were sleeping. They were burning the midnight candle. We are lucky that we still have we're still in our youth and in youthful age, and therefore we still have the time and energy to pursue our dreams. I encourage us, no matter what the times are, no matter what the challenges are, keep pushing at it, and at the end of the day, you will have the successful life that you want to and the successful careers that you want to achieve. Thank you very much, and this is where I bring it to a close. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
A lot of contributions. Okay. Okay, so I'd like to say something.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Ma, for the this insightful training. It's been a pleasure. I mean, I don't know, some people may not understand it, but